Peace, peace, peace. Right, divine understanding, born of law. So, knowledge the wisdom, right? So I'm doing the knowledge to bring about that wisdom because the accumulated facts, right? The body of accumulated facts is what enabled you to show and prove the cipher. Because really you knowledge in the power, and that's how you was able to show and prove the cipher, right? By knowledge in the power, it brought about that equality. And then from the equality, well, you could travel anywhere you wanted from the equality. Say you wanted to go from the equality and then you go right into equality, being equal with all aspects of one's true self, right? That would be one. Let me adjust my glasses because I can't see down the block. But, right, that would be one. That would be the first one. And then you could say, well, what I want to do is I want to travel from knowledge in the power to the cipher. Now we went to the cipher. So see that power, her power, I see. Person, place of being. Right. Once you know and understand the person, place of being, then you're able to take it to that level of understanding, or actually you're taking it to that level of the equality. I mean, if you're really looking at today's mathematics, you're going to go from knowledge, power, into the equality. And then you're going to go, then I'm going to say, the cipher, person, place of being. And then from there, you can go into your mathematics or your alphabet. I mean, you can go into 120. So you got mathematics, alphabet, you go into your 120 now. And then you go into your 12 joules. And then after that, you want to look at today's current events. You might say, well, I want to see what today's mathematics is in the Asiatic calendar year, month, and day. You can do that. I gave you the formula on that. So if you at say you at the level where you're quoting supreme mathematics, supreme alphabets. You have the definitions down to the supreme mathematics, supreme alphabets, you're quoting that. You know it on cap. If I tell you, you're looking at a word, King, not cipher, wisdom, Lord, equality, divine, God, equality. When I say that, can you see each number to each letter? Right? Can you see King is knowledge, knowledge. Now is knowledge in the culture. Cipher is knowledge and power. Wisdom is wisdom, understanding. Can you see that? And on and on and on. Can you look at that? When you see a 10, do you know that's justice, right? When you see a 38, does that make you go to 120? That's what you're looking at. So when you see 7, you know where you're at. It's not the environment, it's you, where you're at. See, if you use the raw mathematics, the one that the children can use to relate to school. If the children are looking at school, right, say they're looking at something that says Say you're looking at a word like whole food, something that's not only in school, but a shopping market, and also something that you can buy stock with. Is connected to Amazon. All right, everybody knows what it is. All right, so now you're looking at it and you go WHOLE, and then you see foods, FOODS. So when you see that, do you see that W is 23, 8 is H, 15 is O, 0? Oh, it's O, not 0. And 0 is 360, right? So O is 15, L is 12, E is 5, F is 6, 0 is 15, 0 is 15, 4 is D, and S is 19. Do you see that? When you see that, like if you look at gate, you say 7, 1, 20, and 5. You have to know that. I'm gonna need you to know that. All right? So when you add it up based on long mathematics. If you can add it up in your head and do King Not Cipher Wisdom, Lord equality, divine God equality, and when you put it all up, write it in your head as it's on the chalkboard. Like if it's in your head, write it in your head as it's on the chalkboard. And then make sure that you add it up long mathematics. So once you add it up long mathematics, right? Once you add it up long mathematics, you'll see that it's 96. Right, 96. It's not just knowledge, it's 96. And then it goes to 15, and then it goes to 6. Like wisdom goes to 83, then it goes to 11, then 2. That's just the way it works. There's no way it has these many numbers, that many letters, and the vibration is that far down. No, it's like a piano. The higher octave of the same number. Just a higher octave. So anyway, we're going to move on. And we're going to take it to the next level. We want to see what our numbers were. Our numbers are good. And the convolutions on the brain are changing for the original people in the wilderness of North America. The change is taking place, can't be stopped. We're moving on into the dietary law to change the DNA, RNA. We want to heal the cells. At the cellular level, we want to heal the cells. Now, so first we're going to do is we're going to create our own pyramid. The food pyramid that the European created, right? The food pyramid that the Europeans created is not a good food pyramid for us. That's not the reality that we need to be in. That food pyramid isn't good. It makes us sick, obese. We have problems with our circulatory system and our endocrine system. Our circulatory system is shot. The endocrine system is, at best, malnourished, right? And what do they call it? All right, you know your neurological system is connected to the gut biome. I want to say the gut biome because if the gut biome is not balanced, they say 20-80. I think it's more in a 5-10-85% ratio. right? I think it's more in that level than you would say, oh, I need 20% bad bacteria. No, that's not how it works. You don't need any bad bacteria. What you have is about 85% of the bacteria should be I want to say more in the plant microorganism, a plant-based microorganism inside of you, and then there's maybe 10% microorganisms that eat plants, microorganisms, and then 5% that was eating the microorganisms that eat plants. More of what they would, the biological system in the body is that way, right? So the ones that the eating is more into what you would call autophagy. That was the best way I could explain it to you. That's when you go into the misfolded proteins and the amino acids were used to create those protein-based cells. The amino acid was flawed in and of the poison that was used before you received the animal or plant. A lot of it was synthetic. So that took it to the next level. If the animal or plant was synthetic, then it could be corrupted and synthetic. If that's the case, if it's corrupted and it's synthetic, then your physical biome at the mitochondria level. They're always talking about the mitochondria, but what about the cell fluids that the mitochondria is in, that's inside of the cell? They don't talk about that part. I want you to look into the fluid, look into the spinal fluid. That would be an easier way to look and see what I'm talking about. All right, at the spinal fluid level, you can control and hack the system. But first, to do anything that you want to do, it'll start doing all three things at once if you make the right move. It'll start detoxing. Well, first it'll try to reboot. But to reboot, it's going to need to detox and heal. So it kind of does all three at the same time. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding at the same time. Unless you're at the stage where you're a one cell and you're attaching yourself to the uterus wall. But if you're regular like where we at, but if you're doing that as a mother and she has her baby in her womb, then yeah, you're going to do it at the mitochondria level, but you're going to be dealing with the cell, your egg formations versus the nutrients that you give in your body versus the nutrients that the sperm is receiving from the male's digestion, right? And so we're going to travel into the level of changing the genetic structure at the spinal fluid level through diet. And so you can't do it through diet. Well, what do you think he did already? He did it through diet. He told you you can eat anything you want to eat. Just pray, and you'll be all right. And you went for that one. Wow. Just pray, you'll be good. But everybody else that has any kind of meaning to the culture, to the creed, to the order, right? To the rules and regulations, which are any of that science, right? If they have any credence to anything, even if they're at the level of the physical composition and it's just nutrition, if they understand the physical body without going into Leviticus, that's just, if you don't know anything, you don't know what to do, and you want to take yourself to the next level, I say start at Leviticus 11. Do that. Can you do that? If you could do that, like I told the God, I said, listen, you need help. But the help you need from me is not physical, monetary value. That's what you could get from anybody, monetary value. I'm giving you that knowledge of your what? Self. And I'm giving it to you free. It doesn't cost you a dime. You have to do it, though. So if you don't do it, then you're going to need to take pharmaceuticals and listen to Big Pharma, and you're going to need to do what your doctor told you to do. And what else do you need to do? All right, definitely need to follow the nutritional rules that the medical profession gives you if you're going to use pharmaceuticals to balance out your blood sugars and your hypertension, your circulatory system, and your digestive system. Because if your pancreas isn't giving you insulin, that's digestion. And if your hypertension, that's your circulatory system, your heart. And then it leads to, what do they call it? Well, then it leads to diabetes and whatever the case may be. It doesn't lead to diabetes and hypertension. First, it's nutrition problem. It's a nutritional malfunction in layman terms. The dietary law that you're using is not good for the physical composition in the long term. So after you've been eating that way for 20 years, you don't want to stop eating processed European ideology, colonizers, Western way of living. You don't want to give up that food source. You like that. But it is what it is. I mean, you might say, well, I like it, and there's nothing wrong with liking it if you like it. I'm just saying that if you want to stop using pharmaceuticals for diabetes and hypertension, then you have to go holistic. If you don't want to go holistic, then you have to use pharmaceuticals for hypertension and diabetes. That's really it in the cut dry. If you don't want to use pharmaceuticals, but you don't want to go holistic, listen, man, I don't know what to tell you. Because I don't know the remedy for the in-between people. I don't want to do the pharmaceuticals. You don't want to listen to your doctor. You don't want to listen to the holistic people. You don't want to listen to nobody. You want to do what you want to do. And then what happens? Then you fall victim to the devil's civilization. And now you crying, everybody, because you done fell victim, because you don't listen to nobody. You want to keep doing what you want to do. Then you got to handle it. You got to handle your business. That's all I'm saying. Nobody's telling you what to do. Nobody is on you that way. That's not how the nation was made manifest. The nation doesn't tell you what to do. They give you the rules and regulations and the laws, but it's on you to do them. And then if you don't do them, there's a repercussion. If you do them, there's a reward. And then pretty much that's it. Penalty or reward, you know the level. So I'm saying that to say the remedy is, I'm going to give it to you again, it didn't change. What the first thing you need to do is you have to realize that whether you want to do pharmaceutical or you want to do holistic, it's either one of the two. If you say you're going to be an in-between, all right, let me tell you about in-between. So you got what you got called is classic Coke. See, people don't understand. You got classic Coke, and you got New Age Pepsi. Over here, you got classic Coke, solid, classical, foundation, accumulated facts, know what they're talking about, right? Observing, observation, listening, the art of listening, not just hearing, but listening, engaging in the conversation on the subject matter, and listening. Right? People know when you're not listening to that. All right. And so you want to base your diet on that, on observation of what's happening to your physical composition. What do you need? I'm gonna give you the basics. The basics, if you follow the basic, then you modify the diet and exercise, you'll be all right. But you can't just do exercise and don't have the right diet. You can't eat at McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, fast food restaurant, 5 meals a day, and think you're gonna be working out, and you 40 and you're gonna change what? Nothing. You're just gonna be eating at McDonald's and working out. If you was 20 and you did that, you'd probably be buff still. Because their metabolism is different than yours. They're not moving the same way. It'll catch up with them too if they keep doing that. You've seen that movie where the guy was living off of McDonald's, right? For 30 days. Can't make this shit up. Almost died. But the point I'm making is, you cannot do, okay. You can't have hypertension or diabetes and don't use pharmaceuticals. Unless you're gonna flip over and go into holistic. And you're gonna have to go to holistic and let them take you off the pharmaceutical. That's the way people would say it. That's what I say. I'm not talking to people I don't know. I'm talking to you. What are you talking about? I'm telling you, even if I was talking to people that I didn't know, I would still bring it to them the way the nation would show and prove through How to Eat to Live. I would say, well, you need to switch over to How to Eat to Live. And when you switch over to How to Eat to Live, book 1 and book 2, right? And I'll show you the modifications based on glyphosate, Agent Orange, grain, starch, soy, dairy, animal, the modifications to it, the show and prove, right? Once you do that, because you want to be an animal eater, that's harsh. No, it's the truth. You want to be an animal eater, you need to use Leviticus. That's my word is bond. It's going to be impossible to do it without using Leviticus if you want to eat right and exact and you're trying to bring your hypertension and your diabetes down. You can't sit here and eat the side of a hog and think you're going to have good blood pressure. I mean, you couldn't do it, But to do it, you need to take pharmaceuticals. You can eat all the hog you want, but you gotta take them pharmaceuticals. But if you're trying to heal diabetes and hypertension, then if it was me, I wouldn't eat any animals. I wouldn't pick any of them to eat. I would do plant-based, preferably 85% raw diet, and every plant is not good. I definitely wouldn't eat kale and collard greens and mustard greens and all those vegetables that they feed farm animals like cows with double stomachs and all that. I wouldn't eat those. I would eat the vegetables that are easy, readily eaten raw. Bok choy, spinach, those kind of vegetables that you can eat raw and they don't disrupt the microbiome in the gut. Once you're able to move to that level, I mean, they say it's hard. That's why I give you the raw answers. No grain, no starch, no soy, no dairy, no sugar, right? That's that level. The next level is you have to know if you're going to eat animals, use Leviticus 11. And then that should cover you. It's not rocket science. I'm not taking you anywhere. Now, when you get to that level where you understand that, then I would show you, I got craving for bread. Okay, you can get the paleo bread. What else do people have a craving for? I had the craving for the spaghetti and this, that, and the third. Well, you can get the wild rice, not black rice, wild rice. And then they have, when you in rebooting, it's not much you can cross-reference with. But if you're going to try to, you might have to make your own flour because make your own pasta. If you really have this need for pasta, use almond flour, use coconut flour, use those kind of flours, anything except grain. All right? What's the next one people have a problem with? Like I said, the animals, well, I told you, use Leviticus and split hoof and chew a cud. If it don't have split hoof and chew a cud, don't eat it. If it's on the red side. If it's the bird, then if it doesn't hop, it's not really right and exact. Those birds that walk of themselves are omnivores, and the birds that are predator birds, you're not supposed to eat them. And only the ones that hop, they're seed eaters. And not the ones that are seed eaters and walk, but don't move their neck like parrots in them. They're like, a lot of them are seed eaters. I'm talking about the ones that hop like grasshopper. They got that kind of walk. They're seed eaters. Those only really kind of bird that you're going to be able to eat to reboot your system. All right, so I would say just cut the birds out. You don't need no red meats. Cut the red meat out. Seafood, it's too much mercury and microplastics in the ocean. Cut the fish out because you can't eat no fish unless they under 20 pounds. They got fins and scales, so you might as well cut that out too. So cut that out. If you're gonna say I can't do without some kind of animal until I get to that level, then I say go with grass-fed, free range. Look for those words: grass-fed, free range, organic. Whether it's chicken, beef, lamb, the regular things that's in the supermarket. So you're not going to find that in your regular supermarkets. Mostly you're not, until the people start doing it and we make them do it. They're not going to do it as long as there's no supply and demand. If there's no demand for organic animals, they won't do it. If you make them do it, they'll do it by not buying the tortured animals. And so we move to the next level. And now that you're doing it holistically, our numbers are great. We don't need the pharmaceuticals anymore because our body is regulated. And so we moved on into the next level. And we treat ourselves with paleo bread if you need some bread. Or any of those paleo products. The Hue products, they're not too bad either, most of them, except for the packaged ones. Because I always say, don't make processed food your staple. It should be raw fruit and vegetables. But every once in a while, wherever you at, whatever you're doing, whatever the case may be, you might have to do that to yourself. I don't know. You might have to make an adjustment based on what's taking place and what isn't taking place. But at the same time, you can't let that stop you from repairing the physical composition at the mitochondria level. You have to do this. If you don't do it, then you're leaving 120 at the mercy of those who aren't doing it, who aren't living it out and eating right and exact. And you living it out, eating it right and exact, even with all the damage we did to our physical compositions up until this present moment, if you go to that level, you can clear this shit up. All right, you can reboot your system in about 18 months. And then, once you reboot in 18 months, you take it to the next level. You're in the healing stage now. So it take about another 3 years to heal your system at the mitochondria level. Then after healing and build, then you're going to take it to the level where you're building and adding on. So you figure the first 3 years, you'll see yourself detoxing. Pardon me. You'll see yourself detoxing. You'll see at the mitochondria level, you'll see cell reproduction at astounding levels. You'll also see the numbers in pressure. So that means your kidneys. Your kidneys will change. They will repair themselves. Your liver will repair itself. But to start off the repair process, you really do need to repair the liver. But to get to the liver, you need to clean up the colon. It's like everybody will tell you need to repair the liver to repair the body. You can't repair the body if you don't repair the liver. But you can't repair the liver if you don't clean and repair the colon. And you can't repair and clean the colon if you don't repair the microbiology in your intestines. And to repair the microbiology in your intestines, you have to do it with the food that you ingest. Digest, ingest, assimilate. And from there, you can make it to the next level. So, with that, I'm going to say peace. It is knowledge, the power, bring about that equality. Right? You're going to take it into the alphabet. You're going to be, see I power, her power, I see. And then, I'm going to say peace. Divine understanding, born in the law, ancient order, free Asiatics. Production, Sermon 7, publication. Or is it? I think they both have something to do with both. So actually it's Sermon 7 and Ancient Order, Free Asiatics, production and publications. They both work together hand in hand. All right, so we know that is a fact. And they used to abbreviate and go AOFA, but it's actually Ancient Order, Free Asiatics, production and publication. You can get the book at lulu.com. Lulu.com has the book. And I think Barnes and Nobles has it too. But I know it really came out of Lulu.com. They probably put it in Barnes and Nobles and Amazon and all that, but it's really Lulu.com. The Coach's Eye Guard, book 1 and book 2. Get that. You be good. Get that. Right? And so, yeah, it's almost time for me to get out of here. Am I leaving now? Yep. And we out of time. I'm going to have to say peace. Right? Divine understanding, born of law. That's my words. Born of law is God. Always has been, always will be. Talking about no mystery God. God. Yeah, man, God.